When you have a micro wedding where the schedule's not as tight, you don't have as many guests, yes, it's not ideal, yes, it's not what you planned, but you could do something incredible.
Hi, I'm John from PGP Wedding Films, and welcome to Say Yes to the Best, where we talk to the best wedding pros to give you wedding planning advice. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. We have new content out all the time to help you with your wedding planning. Today, I am talking with one of my absolute favorite people in the wedding industry, Lydia Joy of Lydia Joy Photography. How you doing, Lydia?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have you on today because you wanted to talk about how couples who may be affected by COVID and are having to figure out a new way to have their wedding on their original date or have something before pushing their full reception to a date down the road. And not just kind of settling, but really creating something that isn't what they thought of before, but maybe is even better and something that they can look back on in the future.
I feel like COVID has just brought on so many changes for couples. And I feel like it's so easy for couples to feel discouraged looking at it. And of course, like, it goes without saying that I know that your wedding this year or even coming up early next year might not be exactly what you were looking for. But I think something great that you can do is to look at this change that COVID has brought on and kind of put a positive twist on it. So yes, you might not be able to have the same amount of guests that you thought. You might not be able to have everything that you thought you were going to have there, but you can almost take this time to kind of like view your wedding day as a styled shoot. So in, the wedding world, sometimes all of us vendors get together and kind of create this vision for inspiration to give to couples of like, look at what you could do. And so you kind of have the freedom to do that now. So you don't have 150 to 200 guests waiting on you. You don't have all these people like this schedule to get to. You kind of have that freedom. So when you have a micro wedding where the schedule's not as tight, you don't have as many guests, yes, it's not ideal, yes, it's not what you planned, but you could do something incredible. You could hire a dream vendor, such as a rental with a dream backdrop for your wedding day. You could decide to go off and take some beautiful photos and video on a mountain, or you could pick up that dress and go sit at Chick-fil-A. And whatever it is that really screams what you are, I think that you're able to maybe take this change and put a positive twist on it and create videos and photos that are just so unique to who you are and something that you'll look back on and be so glad that you did it. And in my opinion, you're going to have other people be like, why didn't I think of that? So you're basically creating your own styled shoot, but you're actually getting married. And I think it's kind of this gift or almost freedom that COVID has given you to just really be unique and create some awesome memories to look back on.
What do you think are some of the logistical advantages of doing a smaller wedding versus a larger wedding?
I think that you have a lot more freedom in your timeline. I also think that the money that you were planning on putting towards X, Y, and Z for this big wedding, more guests and all that, it could be allocated to, like, maybe you had a dream vendor.
They've dreamed of having PGP Wedding Films on their day.
But honestly, like, for real, I think that it's a benefit. I think that, no one likes to talk about money, but weddings are expensive. And I think that when COVID changed things, a lot of money goes towards the guests that you're having at your wedding. And I think that, again, I know your dream is to have everybody there. But since that can't happen, you could just change things around a little bit and create these dream memories to look back on. And so instead of looking at it like, oh, this sucks, well, I'll still put on a dress and show up and we'll get married even though it's not what we dreamed. You could be like, yeah, this isn't what we dreamed, but look at these incredible photos and this incredible video that we have to look back on. Like, yes, we got married during a pandemic. Like, no one knows how to do this. Not everybody can say that we got married during COVID, so do it, but like, do it awesome. And I think you actually can still save money and do it awesome. I think it's just like thinking outside the box, like taking all those Pinterest dreams that you didn't think that you could afford before and making it happen. My opinion would be to hire an incredible day of coordinator and kind of just word vomit all of your dreams and your vibe that you wanted, and they can make it happen. That I think that's what I would do.
Totally. One thing that I've definitely seen is there are so many kind of competing interests during a big wedding that sometimes aren't what the bride and groom really want. It's what a family member wanted, or they feel obligated because of some tradition. This is a kind of an opportunity to free you from some of those things and just do what you want to do, which, I mean, I think everyone should do that, but I think this can kind of free you up to do that.
In my opinion, that's kind of what's gotten me as excited as a wedding vendor during this time, because I'm seeing so many people break tradition and they're like, well, because of COVID. And I'm like, well, let's continue this. Let these couples kind of pave the way so that when this mess is over, we still have couples who are doing exactly what they want to do and staying true to who they are instead of feeling like they have to do XYZ. I literally have a couple who just booked a wedding who plans on coming back to their apartment after the wedding because they're keeping it very small, and they want to do a first dance in their apartment surrounded by candles because that's what felt intimate and that's what felt them. And I was like, yeah. Like, why isn't this happening anyway? So I think these couples who are kind of forced into doing things differently are really paving the way. And I think we're going to continue to see traditions broken, which gets me, my fire gets all excited when I hear that, because I'm like, I love it when you do something because you want to do it, not because parents, grandparents, and uncles or some past wedding told you to do it.
Absolutely. And, we're both capturing images, and if we get something unique, that's what kind of, I know for me, that makes me want to do this. I love getting something out of the ordinary, something that's new. If you were in one of these couples' shoes and you were deciding, okay, we're doing a smaller wedding, what would be like the thing that you really focus on?
If I was getting married right now and it looked totally different because of COVID, I would not worry about spending thousands of dollars on a dress. I would find a gorgeous white dress that fit my style, and I would stay true to my style. I would probably wear like what I have on right now. I'd have on my turquoise jewelry. I'd throw on my hat for a couple photos. And honestly, we would probably have a very small ceremony. I would want a gorgeous backdrop with some really cool like bohemian rugs and macrame and just like all the Western turquoise vibes that I love. And I would have the people there that matter most to me. And then they'd watch us get married and I'd say, peace out. And me and my hubby would probably go somewhere stunning like a mountaintop or a field during sunset. And we would just have some incredible photos, incredible video of us just like, hanging out, maybe having a glass of wine, just like celebrating with no pressure to get to a reception, no pressure to get to cocktail hour, not worrying about first dances and speeches. I feel like we would just celebrate and then have all those memories to watch. And then we'd honestly probably go get nachos somewhere and a margarita, because that would be my dream, is to eat tacos and a margarita in my wedding dress. That's what I would do.
That sounds like a pretty good day.
I mean, you put me on the spot there, but if I'm going to design a wedding right this second, I would want to do all those things.
I think you and I have already just put ourselves on the record that we're up for kind of whatever couples want to do. What would you suggest to couples who want to go this route and do something different with a smaller wedding? How should they approach their current vendors about kind of switching their plans, and rather than just pushing off, maybe just adjusting what they were originally going to do?
I mean, I think that during this time, most vendors are very understanding of what's going on. And I think that we're all kind of up for a change. Because like I said, I think that we have loved the clients that we're serving, but we're also loving seeing this change in tradition, because we're seeing our clients get excited about something. We're seeing a spark in their eye that they're like, this is exciting. This is what I want. And I'm like, heck yeah, why weren't we doing this before? So like I said, I mean, my advice would be to know what vibe you're going for. When I say that, is it an urban vibe? Is it this industrial kind of edgy vibe? Is it flowy and boho? Is it more glam and traditional? And then finding a day of coordinator and just telling them all that, showing them what gets you excited, creating a mood board, and letting them kind of run with it and design something incredible that you might not have dreamed of before, but you kind of been given the opportunity to do it.
If there's a couple who's been trying to decide whether they want to do something small or just push their entire wedding back, what would you kind of suggest for them to kind of help make that decision? What should they be thinking about?
I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but just go with your gut. That's what from every couple I've talked to, certain couples are just like, we know we don't want to wait. Like, we know we want to get married on this date. And so whatever that looks like, we'll celebrate with our family next year. And some couples' gut is like, we wanted this big wedding. And so we're willing to wait in order to make that happen. So I feel like it's just, and honestly, I'm just going to say it. I feel like you and your significant other need to have that talk. I think that you need to make that gut decision together. without a lot of opinions from the peanut gallery.
If a couple did want to maybe invest in some other aspects of the day, what are maybe like the top 3 things you think maybe get shortchanged a little bit on a normal wedding day that they can maybe really pour into if it's something very important to them?
I think people are going to roll their eyes when I say this, but honestly, an incredible photographer, an incredible videographer. Maybe you didn't go with your dream vendor on either of these, and now you kind of can. And I think the third thing that I would do is just having this incredible backdrop for your ceremony. Because a lot of couples, what I'm seeing is with these micro weddings, I feel like the aspect that they're still getting is the ceremony, their vows, the rings, which is what it's all about anyway. And so I think to just have this incredible backdrop or arbor or set up behind you for these photos, I think it just really kind of sets your ceremony apart, and it'll get you really excited when you show up to get married.
If you're just getting married in your backyard and you don't want to just see what you see every day, it can kind of remind you when you look back at those photos in the video, hey, this was not just, another Saturday in the backyard. This was our wedding. This was when we started our marriage. So yeah, I think that having that, and you're absolutely right, you say the vows one way or the other, whether it's a big wedding or a small wedding, and that doesn't change. So I think that's a great way to kind of reallocate and make that exchanging of vows special.
And again, like we were talking about, where couples are able to just reallocate the budget. They don't have to now decorate an entire reception hall. They don't have to decorate all this stuff, but as you can now allocate kind of that budget or your floral budget, quite frankly, towards this incredible, just like keep saying backdrop, but like an arbor or whatever. I saw a couple, it was so cool. It was a micro wedding in their backyard, which to me is so sentimental because not only was it gorgeous, but that's where they live. That's where they are literally starting their life. And their family members actually went down, they live kind of like on a farm. They broke off pieces of old fencing, created this arbor, and then they broke off pieces of their grapevines and wrapped it around the top. And then they were able to have 2 floral pieces on like both corners. It was stunning. I couldn't believe that they created that. But how special and sentimental is that? And that's where when I say breaking tradition, it doesn't always mean you have to spend more money. It's just focusing on what sentimental piece or what you want to look back on to be sentimental means something to you.
Lydia, thank you so much for all that insight. I think anyone who's kind of thinking that maybe the small micro wedding's the way to go has a lot to kind of think about to really make their wedding something special.
Yeah, they're all getting on Pinterest right now. They're like, oh my gosh, what can we do?
Pinterest is seeing a spike in traffic all of a sudden, I'm sure.
They are.
Thank you for watching Say Yes to the Best. Again, Lydia, all of her information is below. Whether you're doing this small wedding now or a big wedding later, she is the absolute best photographer you can have for your day. So check her out. All the information is below. Again, subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. We have new content out all the time, every week for you with your wedding planning. Thank you again and happy planning.
You, Christine, to be my wife. I promise to be faithful to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, to love you and honor you all the days of my life.
I, Christine, take you, Kevin, to be my husband. I promise to be faithful to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, to love you and honor you all the days of my life.
So I pray.